Mr. Kitty going out for a little something. Right into the steam. And off we go. Good morning, friends. It is a muggy Monday morning. I guess I must have woken up just at the tail end of some rain. Looks like a big blob of lightning, thunder, and heavy rain passed mostly to our south. Though we've got puddles, and puddles are good. So everything around here is suffering pretty well. I didn't check the rain gauge yet to see just what had fallen overnight, but can't be too much. I think there's a chance of some more rain tonight, and that would be welcome because we are really in a drought. So we're heading up to 97 today. First day of the DNC in Philadelphia. Hopefully none of the venues have any AC issues. So it's just going to be oppressive. Well, like many of you have been experiencing. Well, today's the day that Anna comes home from Alaska and Canada. Not really Canada, but she did visit over in Skagway. So I decided to take the day off. Margie was going to go pick up the crew at Philadelphia Airport at 10 this morning, their arrival time. And somebody at church yesterday said that maybe with the DNC starting, traffic is going to be a little crazy. So it's a pretty direct route for us. We just hop on a toll road, go all the way down to 95, head north for just a small bit, and you're at the airport. So we'll see. And so I thought, well, I don't really have anything going today at work, so let's take a day off. So that's what I'll do. So it'll be good to see Anna, Susie, and Ashley and Justin. So that's who we will pick up. They had a 8 or 9 hour layover in Vancouver, and by pictures you can see that they did a little got away from the airport a little bit to see Vancouver. So not enough to jump to Victoria, BC. Sorry Sir Jackal, but anyway, and sorry about that picture I posted on the friends of the Seeker podcast. I knew that wasn't a selfie place, but I wasn't trying to be silly. I thought it would appeal to Carlos as an artistic thing, but it seems like scenery is more that we're after. So that's fine. I just didn't realize something like that was for somewhere else. So my apologies, sir. And now we know. Anyway, we'll see if we can capture some of the beautiful things that can be around here. Mostly the ordinary, but sometimes the ordinary can be beautiful. And frankly, the picture of Bill Eichelberg is not a pretty picture. I first said, "Oh, John Lennon glasses," and he says, "No, Jerry Garcia." So that's how that picture came to be. I feel like I'm in a rut lately, running the same routes. Oh, and I forgot to take my nitro pills with me today. But we're not doing anything crazy, so it should be okay, and I've been okay otherwise. Another runner is coming out of a little community ahead of me. I was trying to cross the street on Tuesday coming up, and there's a little blind spot. Just got about run over twice. So the speed limit changes from 25 to 40 at this bridge. I think these folks were clocking closer to 40 already. So I just did my street crossing now. My fellow runner has crossed over as well. Let's see, time-wise, it's 6:22. I think the low 70s was all we could muster for low. So this is the cool of the day. I'm sporting my music camp shirt. So this was the production they put on last night called Back to the Cross. And it was themed, set kind of like Back to the Future. I had a lot of fun with it. A lot of good talent out there by the kids, and a great message. So that was yesterday. They performed at 4, and at 7 I had intended it going to the 4 o'clock. Because Margie was going to one of her niece's bridal showers. I guess I'll hear about that on the way down to Philly. And So I was going to go to the 4 o'clock because Margie said, oh, those performances are during the time of the shower. So I thought, okay, I'll go at 4. Wayne is trying to work on the shed roofing project. By the way, he's starting to move next weekend, this coming weekend. So if this project doesn't get in high gear, it's not going to be finished before he leaves. So yesterday's part of the project was some of the wood was rotted at the end where he had fascia on the edge with really nothing to nail into anymore. So we cut up and put up a few sisters. But then, my drill battery had gone weak, and the replacement battery had no charge in it at all. So I kind of put a kibosh on doing the project. I was going to try to rest so I could go to the 4 o'clock showing of the music camp, but then decided it would be best if I helped Wayne as much as possible before I go. Well, then Margie noticed that the shower was from 4 to 6. She said, oh, I'll be able to come back in time for the 7 o'clock showing. So I put off going to the 4 o'clock show, and at 6:30 I get a text saying I'm not going to make it. So I went to the 7 o'clock show solo. It's interesting, the disparity of where heat reaches. So I was sitting at the back of the auditorium, and I thought it was comfortable. It's probably at least 10 degrees warmer up at the front, let alone the stage where the spotlights are hitting you. But for such a hot day, I'm going to say we were successful at cooling things down. Now the big cleanup. That in itself, well, I know it was taking place at the end when I was leaving. That's going to take a couple of days. Alright, just breaking out onto Broad Street on the south end. Run by Pastor Aaron. And family. So Pastor Aaron and family are heading to the Harvey Cedars Bible Camp, and I want to say it's on Long Beach Island, New Jersey. Not sure. So we actually have, I'd say, half the staff will be out all week. And some out next week too. So it's first the senior high group, high schoolers, and then middle schoolers next week. Back there could use a little more rain than we got.
Yeah, I know. Nice and sticky now.
Yeah, very sticky. The gentleman I just passed, I've seen around before. I think he was leaving the YMCA. Back a while ago, I was starting to talk about the shirt I was wearing from music camp. It's a bright blaze orange. Getting all the traffic now. Trying to get back on the street where, I guess I ran too far. That's my run signal, and I've been walking, or already have been running. So we'll tame it a little. We'll walk for a minute and a half, and then run for a minute and a half, and then get back into the cycle. It's so dark this morning. So I got up a little after 5:10 or so. Made myself a hot beverage and did some early morning Bible reading on the porch. I had to turn the porch light on. It's dark because of the cloudiness, but it's like, oh, those days are coming back too soon. So it made me think about, all right, let's say it was dark, like truly dark. What am I going to do? I need to get out some flashy clothes, though wearing anything today just seemed like a muggy situation, a muggy alternative. Let's see, passing by the DeVries household. Penrose. Oh, here we go, the Penrose. Kirk and Shelley. Great couple. She spent, I don't know how long he spent, 10 years in Turkey. So all of the Turkish goings-on are of keen interest to them, like the bombing at the airport, the coup attempt. So she feels like she still has somewhat of an idea as to the motivations and things that are going on. Not a lot of people are fond of the president there, she says. But, you know, you've got your loyal forces. But now they're cracking down on anybody who might be deemed unloyal. That can be dangerous. Dangerous indeed. Let's see, running on Erie. Just went from Broad Penrose to Erie. Make a jog on Ambler. Because Erie doesn't go straight through. Pick up Erie again, and then hitch Hellertown Avenue back to Broad Street. Take a little jig over to Front Street where the train station is and the Bush House Hotel, and then I'm on my road home. And we're just trying to keep it easy here today. The heat really is something. You don't really realize, at least I never did before. I mean, I guess I kind of knew how much your heart works harder during the heat, but I always welcomed that and relished that. So on a good hot summer day, I would love to go out in the garden and work away. Work up a good sweat. Wasn't too hard. Go out on a run midday. It was challenging, but there was a part of me that liked that. Well, not for me right now. It's interesting. One of the blood pressure lowering medications, and I heard Norm mention this in a run recently, several weeks ago, where he talked about some blood pressure medicine. So I have one that I take a half a tablet in the morning and a half a tablet at night. And usually I take it after my run. Who wants something active in your system, fighting your heart rate as you push it, especially in a hot day? Well, I was doing some reading. I'd read a book. Let's see, where am I? Yes. Hellertown Avenue. I'd read a book called Cholesterol Clarity, written by Jimmy Moore, Moore, talking about how our body needs cholesterol. But, of course, there can be bad cholesterol. It's not the cholesterol that is the issue, it's what happens to the cholesterol. It's a marker. It doesn't cause anything. And I was writing to him because, like most books dealing with the topic, especially the topic of statin drugs, it doesn't refer to people who are having had a heart attack. It deals more with alternatives, alternative steps, alternative diets, lifestyle changes, especially trying to deal with stress in relation to prevention. So I had some follow-up questions from his book. And one of the chapters in the book talked about having too low. Maybe I'll pause here. Let's pause my speaking. Morning. Oh, hey! I waved at you just in case you were home. That's Mrs. Landis. It's Pastor Aaron's wife and her brother. Passed by me. It's very nice. She recognizes me before I could recognize her. She calls me Mr. Hailstone. It's because I've known her too long. Well, let's see. So the cost of lowering your cholesterol too low means that you're limiting your body's natural function of producing cholesterol. And cholesterol is needed for cell growth and delivering nutrients and all kinds of things. So, say your brain is 25% fat, which is largely fed by, or anyway, it includes lots of cholesterol, has the need for lots of it. So going too low can be an issue too. So just as doctors are concerned about too high, and this guy's not really overly concerned about too high. I guess there can be too high if rare circumstances, but it's not just your high overall cholesterol, it's what's the makeup of it overall. So, like, what are the nitty-gritty details? And so, anyway, my cholesterol, the day of my heart attack, or within 24 hours, total cholesterol was like 180 something, which is considered normal, like if you looked at total cholesterol. Now, if you looked at the breakdown of what my HDL was to my triglycerides, or what my HDL was to my overall, those factors weren't right. So they were out of whack. It's like the balance was poorly. It was, the ratios weren't right. Even though, according to doctors, I had normal cholesterol. And my HDL was below normal. My LDL was above. So my doctor seems to want to see how low can you go. So the lower the cholesterol, the better. And the question really for him is just lowering your cholesterol doesn't fix things. But that's really all he's prescribed. Ooh. Got a whiff of ammonia. Yikes. Well, the other piece of this puzzle is this blood pressure lowering medication. So it prevents your heart rate from going too high. And it keeps your blood pressure from going too high. So prior to my heart attack, how was my blood pressure? Normal. So I had understood that the medication was to help your heart heal, like not put too much work on it. And so, if I have these runs and I feel awful afterward, I keep thinking it's, and it possibly is, I don't have a good answer yet, it is due to overdoing it, overtaxing the heart muscle. I might have missed a walk cue. No, not yet. So I found an article on the Live Strong website. It talked about the effect of beta blockers and exercise intolerance, meaning that someone can get nauseous and even vomit from overdoing it while on a beta blocker. So early on, it sounded like my doctor was going to have me on beta blockers for life. And I questioned him about this, saying, hey, I didn't have high blood pressure in the first place. So is it really necessary? And the longer you're on these statin drugs, especially of high doses that I am, can lead to things like muscle pain because they are getting limited fuel, I guess, for rebuilding because of the lowering of cholesterol. So it's all very interesting. I'd like to challenge my doctor and say, hey, what would it take for you to see me off of drugs altogether? Do you think that's even possible? And something that I keep reading is that the profession says this is what you do, so you do it. And it's like, okay, this guy's got a gash that is 3 inches deep, and therefore you apply something pretty heavily to keep bleeding. You do all kinds of things to keep this person from getting worse. And then a guy gets a slight gash, not because it has gash in its definition. You apply the same rule. So it takes out the whole individuality that we don't have. So I always want to know, hey, what brought me to this place in the first place? What can I change to take me back out of the dark zone? The doctors are rated and sometimes on their performance and rewarded for treating patients a certain way. That's how I'm reading the concern. Puddles, yay! Puddles for Pennsylvania. So that's what's on my mind. Same old, same old. So we have mostly 90-degree temperatures in the forecast this week. I need to do better doing my off day exercises and stretching, etc. on these warm days. All right, well, this is Steve. Glad to have you along today, if you're listening. So we thank you very much, and this should about fill up my Spreaker allotment. I probably will need to delete something before uploading. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now. One more puddle.